Jumbo, jumbo, jumbo. Swahili for hello. How are you today? And I trust you had a great weekend and God is giving you grace and peace every day. That's how Paul began a lot of his letters. Grace and peace to you. Grace, that means God's love in action, showing that love toward us daily, and peace, heart peace, tranquility. No discombobulation going on constantly in our heart and getting us frenetic and all, as they say, changa in Puerto Rico. We're reading in the Gospel of Mark. We're reading through it, and we have now come to chapter 11. Let's just go over chapter 10, verse 52. The blind man has been healed, and Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has saved you or made you whole." Immediately he could see and began to follow Jesus on the road. Here, once again, we see Jesus not saying, "I did it." He did it, obviously. The healing came from him. Healing virtue went out. But he said, "Your faith." How can we emphasize that enough? Your faith. Where there was no faith, he could do very little, even Jesus in his own hometown. You know, there are people who say, he never meant to do anything in his hometown. That's why it worked out that way, because humans can't control anything to do with God. God is omnipotent and sovereign and all of that. But in the mystery of all of that, words must mean something, don't they? "O ye of little faith." How could you give a person little faith and then go, "What's wrong with you?" No, here we're cooperating, the blind man was, with what he perceived in his heart, who Jesus was, and he trusted him. Simple trust. That's not an achievement on our part. That's falling into his arms, lifting a hand to take the gift he offers. But some of us don't or won't, or very limited. No wonder the disciples said to Jesus, "Lord, increase," or that man said, "Lord, increase my faith." And the disciples said that too, increase our faith. Let's ask the Lord for that today, for more faith, to trust him more, to see greater things done in our life, and then that would bring more glory to God the Father. It's not about us, it's about God's glory, but it means something's got to happen. You can't be lukewarm and dead and faithless and say, "Isn't this bringing great glory to God?" Notice, after he was healed, he followed him, Jesus, on the road. Let's just go over that again. How many times do people want something from God, need something, and then once they get it, it's like they forgot how to say Jesus? He became a follower of Jesus. You can't make a deal with God. I know a man down in South America, he's dead now, but he was one of these touring evangelists. But here's how he advertised the meetings in different cities in Argentina. "Come tomorrow night to hear the great minister and see the curse of poverty broken in your life and get healed." Lucifer himself would go to one of those meetings. But that's not all that Christianity is about. It's about following Jesus. Haven't we all been tempted in our lives to make deals? "Lord, you help me here. I need you, only you." And then we don't follow him down the road. We don't live day after day, drawing near to him, talking to him, listening to his word, listening to the Spirit speaking to us. It's like they say in California, don't be a drive-by. You know what a drive-by is. They have drive-by shootings and drive-by stuff. No one stays. They just do their thing and then they're away. And they said, don't be a drive-by. Don't just come and say, oh, I love you and all that, and then nobody sees him again. Let's follow him today. Chapter 11 begins this way. When they approached Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany near the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his disciples and told them, go into the village ahead of you. As soon as you enter it, you'll find a colt tied there on which no one has ever sat. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, why are you doing this? Say, the Lord needs it, and will send it back here right away. So they went and found a colt outside in the street, tied by a door. They untied it, and some of those standing there said to them, what are you doing untying the colt? They answered them just as Jesus had said, so they let them go. Jesus is going to make his triumphant entry here into Jerusalem, and he was riding on a colt. The mother of the colt was there too, according to another gospel narrative, but he sat on the colt. How did he get the colt? How did he ride in? Because by a word of knowledge that he had, he knew there'd be a colt. No one had ever ridden it, and it would be there. And the disciples found it just like that. And he said, if someone says something to you, tell them the Lord needs it. And that's how it happened. You know, the story behind the story. There's pictures of him riding on that colt. The colt was there because people who owned it, when they heard the Lord needs it, they went, it's yours. The Lord needed that colt to fulfill prophecy. So how about you and I? Does he need something from you and I today? How about you? How about me available for him? Well, I'm not much. I don't know many verses. Hey, you and I can be more useful than a colt, can't we? That he rode on. Either one of a donkey or of an ass or of a horse. The experts aren't sure. And there he was riding on it because someone made it available. So everything God's blessed us with, we have to have the attitude, it's mine, I'll use it, giving God glory. Oh, the Lord needs it. The Lord's need that extra time. The Lord needs that bonus or some money, or the Lord puts his finger on something in our life. We have to say, oh, the Lord needs it. Let's be available to God today. The greatest joy in life is to be available to God and see him use us in some way for his honor and glory. It's not about us. It's about him. See you next time.